As per ongoing workshop series under NAC criteria 5.1.2 Capability Enhancement and Development Skill, I, Dr. Meenal Pazai, welcome you all again for this afternoon session. Today our session topic is soft skill development. So I request Mr. Abhishek Ganguly sir to proceed further. Over to you, sir.
Dr. Meenal, thank you very much for this opportunity. Hello, friends, and a very warm welcome on this day, on Friday afternoon. I know it is the most difficult session in the day when you have you had a lunch break, you had a hearty lunch, hopefully, and here you are back with us on this session. Uh, I think we had a blockbuster session last time, and now I think this time, of course, is a little different because I know I am with you on YouTube live. So what I would suggest is, if I'm given a link to the YouTube, I will also like to join the YouTube session from another link maybe, so that I'm able to even look at your responses. Is that possible, Dr. Meenal? Is there a way in which I can join that YouTube live session? Is it possible? Pramod ji, is it possible? Okay, I think we don't have Dr. Meenal or Pramod ji here. No problem. I think while yes, Dr.
Sir,
Meenal.
I don't understand.
No, but this session is being beamed live on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Now, I would like to have a link of that YouTube so that I can join from my mobile phone. And if there are some responses from the students, I can address them. Because here on Zoom,
Okay,
I'm not going to be able to, see their responses. And that is going to make this
okay, I will
session
let you know, sir.
interactive.
I will let you know, sir.
Otherwise, this is just going to be a one-way dialogue. They will not be able to interact with me. So that's the idea. Yeah, that's the idea.
I will
of
ask Mr. Pramod and let you know, sir.
Sure, sure. So, my students, we had a super session. I'm sorry you are not with me live on Zoom right now. So I don't know who has joined and who hasn't joined. I'm clueless. But anyway, I think we had a blockbuster session last time around, and on the back of it, here we are today discussing essential soft skills for medical students. What are the soft skills that you need as medical practitioners, future super doctors of our time? Now, you see, in your profession particularly, technical skills are of paramount importance, because without technical skills, you cannot survive in this profession. It's a high skilled job. Any medical practitioner's job is based on skills that he has, which makes him or her uh, absolutely brilliant in their own field, in their own contribution. So that's really what makes this such a fascinating thing. I think I've been now able to join you guys on YouTube as well, so that I know, once you've joined there.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sir, your voice is not, you are not audible, sir.
I'm sorry, I think there was a connectivity issue, which is why it took some time. Are you able to hear me, everybody? Can you give me a heads up on it, please? Are you able to hear me? Participants, are you
Yes,
able to hear me?
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay. Fine. We had an internet issue, which is why we got disconnected. So I think we're live here as well as we're live on YouTube, which is fine. Just give me a moment. Go to sleep. Okay, wonderful. Now, again, when we are dabbling with technology, we'll be looking at many aspects. I am not at my base location today, so there may be some, connectivity issues, some outages. Right at the outset, I would really like to apologize to you, should there be such issues or disturbances as we go by. Nonetheless, we'll try to make this as immersive as we did in our first session. We were speaking about, when we got disconnected, that is about the value of what medical practitioners are. Anybody who is a medical student is very high on technical skills, because it's these skills which can be a lifesaver, a game changer for a patient. And while those are going to be your most important skills, soft skills are actually going to play a critical role in augmenting a life, the life of a doctor, the life of a nurse, a life of anybody who is a part of the medical fraternity. Now, how and what are those essential soft skills? We'll talk about them in a nutshell today in this session. You see, the first of the soft skills which I want to talk about, and I have kept every session brief and to the point so that we maximize learning out of this. So let's talk about the first of those skills, analytical skills. Now, as you know already, because a lot of you are in this program, you're studying in college, a lot of you must be in the postgraduate program, some of you are in the undergraduate program, maybe second year, third year, fourth year, whatever may be the case. And you're dealing with many, many things, both professionally as well as personally. I'm sure a lot of you are traveling distances to be in college, in the hospital. So you have, trains going haywire or not on time always because of the monsoon. You have the travel, you have other factors, you have assignments, you have tests, you have periodicals, you have examinations, you have assessments, you have projects, you have vivas, you have so much on your plate. And then you also have these sessions, plus personal life, so many other factors, so much pressure. Some of you might be coping in terms of learning languages beyond Marathi. Maybe you're trying to learn English now. Maybe you're trying to get better at English. While mother tongue may be Marathi and you've spoken most of your life in Marathi, but now you want to scale up in English and maybe polish your Hindi. So when you are dabbling with so many things, when you're working with so many things as a medical practitioner, you must start imbibing, you must start inculcating certain traits which will help you ensure that when you're dealing with multiple things, you're dealing with them well, you're dealing with them seamlessly. That's the first part of the gambit which I wanted to share with you, because you are in a profession Last time I had said it's the noblest profession of all professions. But today I'm also adding something to it. It's a tough profession to be in because many times you might be in a tough situation where you'll be responsible for making decisions. Some of these decisions could be life and death as well. Some other decisions could lead to some conflict, maybe disputes to be solved, and everything taken into consideration. For instance, sometimes patients have medication dose problems. You need to be able to recommend the suitable treatment in such situation. You may have a situation where your patients or their relatives are angry with you for some reason, maybe irate with you, maybe disappointed with you, maybe putting you under a lot of pressure. In these situations, it's your analytical skills that will help you analyze the problem. And if you do not analyze the problem, how will you offer a solution? So, a solution can only be offered when you analyze the problem. When you analyze the problem, you will offer a solution. Sorry, once again, I had a connectivity issue. As I told you already, that I'm not on my base location, which is why we're having these connectivity issues. Please forgive me for these aspects which are beyond my control. but the aspects which are in my control, I'll try to do my best. So I'm coming straight to the point without wasting any further time. You see, like I was discussing, you could be in your chamber, and when you're in your chamber, you're talking, you're discussing, you're doing multiple things. That is where your analytical skills are going to help you solve problems. And problems you need to solve, decisions you need to make. Because when you're a doctor, when you're a medical practitioner, every day in your life you're making decisions. Every day in your life you're trying to solve problems. You're trying to provide solutions. And how are you going to be able to do that? You will only be able to provide the right solutions to the problems when you are able to analyze them. Do you agree with me on this? Can you, if you do, can you please type yes on the chat box so I will know that those who are present here, you agree with me. Of course, on YouTube, you can also go ahead and share your comments. I would like to know whether all of you have gone off to sleep because I'm so boring, or we have some consensus over here. Do you agree with me that if you want to solve problems in your life, and there will be problems, so you have to find solutions, you must possess good sense of analysis of the problem, analytical skills, analytical skills. Do you agree? If it's a yes, please type yes. If it's a no, please type no. So at least I know that you are with me. So let's say I'm typing yes. What about the others? Can you please share your comments with me over here? So I know that you are with me on this. Otherwise, I would think it's just a monologue. So I request, there's so many of you here, 40 odd people are with me over here. Can you please type your comments here, please? Everybody. Shomitro, Shelly, Janvi, Neha, Pooja, Dinesh, Rabia, Shraddha, please. Abhishek, I want you to type your comments over here, whether you agree with me or not. Are you able to hear me? Everybody? Dr. Meenal, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
What about the others? Why is it that nobody is responding? Do we have nobody else in the room is listening to us?
They are listening, sir.
Sorry?
Yes, they are listening, sir.
But why are they not replying? Because yesterday it was not like this. I want all of you to give me a response, otherwise I'll stop this session now.
Okay, sir, I will tell.
Yeah. Because I don't want a session like this where people have just logged in. I'm sharing something very important, and within 5 minutes, nobody is responding. Okay. So while Dr. Meenal is trying to sort that out, trying to find analysis to this problem and approach it with analysis, let me now move to the next part of my submission, which is all about communication. Look, as a medical practitioner, you have to ensure there is ample communication, that you're able to clearly but politely communicate, because you'll have tons and tons of patients coming in every day. Not only patients, their families, and you should be able to interact with them well, with empathy, with other staff, with vendors and healthcare professionals. So over here, what is very, very important is your ability to keep your patience, to keep your cool. That's a skill that all of us need to work on, because if you do not keep your cool, you will be irritated all the time. And as it is, a hospital is a stressful environment. Nobody really enjoys going to a hospital in the first place. So it's a stressful environment. Now, in such an environment, when you are also irritated, you are also angry, it adds more pressure to the environment, doesn't take away much. So therefore, it is important for you to ensure that you keep your cool and that you're able to communicate well, not only with your colleagues and outside staff and vendors and other professionals, but primarily with patients and families of patients. Because the more you're able to communicate politely, gently, definitively, the more you will have the confidence of these patients and their relatives on your side. And the more you have that, the more empowered you will be to ensure that you're able to not only provide the best possible treatment, but also provide the best possible comfort, which is linked to the best possible treatment. So that is communication skills. So when you look at essential soft skills for the medical fraternity, first you're looking at analytical skills, then you're looking at communication skills. Two of the most important skills, but it doesn't stop there. The most, possibly the most important skill in input in your trade is teamwork. Because regardless of the nature of the job, nobody wants to work in an unfriendly and uncooperative environment. So, while we were on communication, we spoke about the need for you to be patient. So you need to listen, participate, and encourage your colleagues to create a nice working environment so that everyone is able to optimize the results. Now, you look at today's scenario. Here we are on an online session. So many people have logged in, and there are many others who must be on YouTube watching this live. Now, when we don't get the kind of response that we expect, what do? Either we react or we respond. The reaction is, you decide to take an extreme step, you get angry, you get irritated, you get disappointed, and it shows. The response is really trying to find out what the problem is and then to find a solution to it. Now, when you try to find a solution to a problem, you will have to work with teams. You'll have to work with other people. You cannot be just working by yourself. You have to work with others. And that by itself is the centrality of this thought process. So, therefore, my dear friends, I will request you to consider teamwork as a bedrock of any good organization. You must have seen very often in your life that there is groupism. You have small groups within a larger group. You have people with whom you're more comfortable than other people. These are the people whom you confide in. And then there must be another group, and this group may not be a group that you like a lot. And we form opinions based on these things. While you can't be best of friends with everybody, which is understood, and that's natural also, it doesn't really have to be a you versus me game. It could be rather an us game, where it's you and I and us together. And that itself is the key to success in life, not just in your profession, but life at large, life in general. The united we stand and divided we fall policy is maybe a very old policy. It may be a very old saying, but it has not lost its relevance even today. Even today, it matters as much as it did back then when it was first coined. So, therefore, in unity stands victory, and unity only happens when you have a good team in place. They say a captain, a leader is only as good as his team. And how do you make a good team? Teamwork, being a team player, being a team person, and putting the team in in front of your own individual goals, putting the team in front of yourself, selflessly working for the team. This is how organizations grow. This is how we all become greater than our individuals put together, our individual net put together, right? So that's what teamwork is all about. So we've spoken about some very important soft skills. First and foremost, we spoke about analytical skills. Then we spoke about communication skills. We also spoke about teamwork. And now we speak about, the power of positive attitude and how it makes a difference. A positive attitude gives you power over your circumstances instead of circumstances having the power over you. I always say this: situations around you won't change, but it's how you adapt to them. that makes you more likable, more tolerable, and maybe gives you more peace of mind as well. For example, today I am on this session with you. Now we are beaming this live on YouTube as well, and this session is happening on Zoom. Now I am getting no kind of audience reaction because people are uh, scattered all over the place, and therefore it's difficult to get an audience reaction. Now, what's happening in these circumstances is not really in my control. So, in such a situation, the ability to remain positive and to do your best and to continue to give your best is really what is the hallmark of a good professional. So, it gives you the power over your circumstances instead of these circumstances having powered over you and having empowered you and overpowered you rather than having empowered you. Correction. Situations and circumstances should empower you and never overpower you. So that's the power of positive thinking. That is the power of positivity. And that is what really positive attitude is all about. Okay. Now, on that note, I would like to ask you, are you with me so far? Can you give me a heads up? Can you give me a heads up, please? Are you with me so far? Are you able to relate to what I'm saying? A yes or a no, please. I'll wait for an answer. Yes or a no. Are you able to relate to me? Are you able to understand? Is it making sense? Okay. No, Dr. Meenal, I thank you so much. But what about the others, Dr. Meenal? Where are the others? Because or are we beaming it on YouTube? So a lot of people are on YouTube. Is that so?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, no problem. So long as people are on YouTube and listening to us, are they able to watch us? I think we are all right, not a problem. Now we will move to, like I said some time ago, one of the most important aspects, one of the most important soft skills for any medical practitioner to have is teamwork. But I think this other aspect, I think, is equally important and possibly the most important soft skill that you need to imbibe in your systems. That is empathy. Now, what is empathy? This is something I would like to explain to you because you know I've already written it on the PPT that this is the most important skill that a doctor or a medical practitioner is expected to possess. But what is this? What is empathy? How different is it from sympathy, a word which a lot of us have heard? Let us, try to understand this. Now, supposing you come and tell me we are having an offline session on next Tuesday. This will be in your college. Now, on that day, you come and tell me that, sir, you had this online session on last Friday. It was in the afternoon. All of us were just having lunch. We were busy. We had a pre-lunch session and we were all busy with that. And then suddenly we had to join. We were in college and we had to join this session in the morning. And it was, we were not really focused on what happened that day. Our minds were elsewhere. We were still having food, talking to each other, and still trying to listen to you whatever little we could. But we would like you to possibly cover what you did on that Friday so that we are able to understand those essential concepts that we need to work on. Now, this, when you say this to me, and supposing I get very, very angry with you, then I am not showing any empathy. I'm just being angry. So, however, if I put myself in your shoes, please listen to this very carefully. If I put myself in your shoes and I say, okay, I am able to make sense of this. Maybe, you guys were on Friday, you were too much on your plate. Maybe it was a bad day for you. You're not really listening well. That's okay. It can happen sometimes. post-lunch sessions are difficult. So I fully understand where we are coming from. It's okay. I will explain this again. Maybe I will not take 1 hour or 40 minutes like I took on Friday, but in 15 minutes, I'll explain the gist of what this is all about. What I'm doing basically is not only am I showing understanding, not only am I being rational, but I'm also at the same time exhibiting a sense of empathy. I am able to put myself in your shoes and make a difference to the entire context. That's really what empathy is all about. You, as a doctor, you, as a medical practitioner, you, as a doctor in the making, if you cannot if you cannot put yourself in the shoes of your patient or your patient's families and understand what they're feeling at that point of time, then you are an incomplete doctor. You're not a complete doctor. No doctor worth her or his salt can lose the human touch. It is this human touch which makes you the doctor that you become. And that is what makes you special. That is what adds whatever teeth it does to you and to your life. And so it's very, very important that all of us should start practicing empathy. The ability to understand people, the ability to understand. See, you may not agree with them. Please, let's understand this also. I may not agree with what you're saying. I may not understand fully how you're feeling at the moment. But the fact that I'm trying to understand is by itself a good enough feeling. And it really adds value to the concept of empathy. Empathy is putting yourself, or trying to put yourself at least, in somebody else's shoes and to be able to understand somebody else for what they're worth. Okay? It's the most important soft skill that a doctor must possess. On the following week, on Tuesday, when we will have our session on employability skills, I will recite a story. I will talk to you about a story from the Mahabharata, and that possibly will give you a linkage to empathy. Okay, so that's coming up next Tuesday. Okay, now this is something which I know we are doing in life. All of us are multitasking all the time. We are doing many things simultaneously. We are dealing and dabbling with various things at the same time. That's really what we're doing. We're multitasking. Not only you as doctors or medical practitioners, uh, uh, all of us are busy, performing tasks that can potentially have uh, life or death ramifications. You are also at the same time answering calls, attending seminars, doing workshops, dealing with patients, their families, and following regulatory protocols, procedures, and formalities. Uh, so you must be able to not only multitask, but multitask with a high level of accuracy. And that is only possible when you start practicing it, when you become systematic, when 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 being system driven is a way of life for you, when you are actually uh, able to compartmentalize the various aspects that you're dealing with in life currently. And when you're able to do that, that's really when you're a truly champion doctor, a champion medical practitioner, a champion already in the making. I have seen in my life, and I've met quite a few, some doctors who are possibly the best in the country in their own field, in their own domain. And one thing I've observed about these doctors, they may be coming to hospitals in their Mercedes Benz cars and their BMW cars and their Audi cars. Um, but one thing I've observed is they're forever multitasking. So they are attending international conferences, national conferences. They are also dealing with charity. They're involved with NGOs, and they're working in dispensaries where they're giving treatment for free. At the same time, they're working with premier hospitals. They have their own chambers. They have multiple patients with multiple issues that they're dealing with. All of this at the same time and seamlessly, as if they're moving from one flash to another, from one place to another. That really is what good multitasking is all about. And that really is what is expected of you. So, my dear students, my beloved students, these are the most important aspects that you need to look at. Analytical skills, communication skills. Really, what is any essential soft skill if you're not a good communicator, if you're not good with interpersonal skills? Then teamwork, which is the bedrock of all positive activity and positive intent. And the power of positivity is what we spoke about. Then we spoke about the most important soft skill, which is empathy, which we spoke about an example. And then we went to multitasking skills, because you really need to be a good multitasker in today's day and age, because you're dealing with so much. You're dealing with the digital also at the same time. You're dealing with not only offline, but you're also dealing online. So you're dealing with digital stuff as well. And so that becomes very important. Now let's talk about counseling skills. Now, when you talk about counseling skills, this is something which is for you, and this is not a general topic, this is for you particularly, possibly a very important aspect that you may want to talk about. See, doctors have to take time to explain patients' medication to them properly and discuss the wider effects it may have on their life. For example, if a patient frequently forgets to take certain pills, a doctor should try and dig deeper into why this is happening. It could be more than just simple forgetfulness, and offer a solution that will benefit the patient. So these are what you call counseling skills. See, when as a doctor you've already studied, you're an MBBS or you are an Ayurvedic practitioner, whatever may be the case, you you already know what the protocols are. But your protocols are your Bible. But what you see in front of you is really the material that matters. And therefore, it has to be a combination of your counseling skills, your intuition, your instinctive skills, plus all that you stand for in the medical fraternity. It's this symbiotic relationship, it's this conjunction, it's this combination of both the factors: your technical expertise and your human touch, your interpersonal skills, your counseling skills. That's really what will make you a doctor who is at par or above par the rest. And that is really what you should be aiming for in life. Counseling skills therefore become very, very critical to your success. And you must try and work on it. And you must also, as doctors, as medical practitioners, not only should you read the lines well, you must also possess the ability and the potential to read between the lines as well. If you can't read between the lines, well, then you're not a very good doctor. Now the next, I have only two more slides to cover, and we'll be doing that in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and we will be able to take some questions. And with that, it'll be a wrap on this session. But this slide, this concept of adaptability is really what champion hallmark is all about. A champion's hallmark is his ability to change with change. Remember, change is the only constant. Every moment of our life, we are having to change and adapt to the circumstances, to the environment that is in front of us. Having great adaptability skills makes you a better medical practitioner, as you will be able to take on whatever the day might throw at you, uh, uh, because the day might throw anything at you without batting an eye. You will be able to take it on. When you go to a hospital eh, eh, on a given day, you don't know what emergency awaits you. 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 You don't know what emergency awa You don't know what kind of dynamic situations are waiting for your attention. In those circumstances, your ability to adapt and adopt to the shifting scenarios around you is what makes you a champion doctor. Those who can handle change and manage problems that seemingly come out of nowhere will stand out to the superiors, will stand out to the management, will stand out to the powers that be, but most importantly, will stand out in the eyes of the patients and their families. Because for you, nobody is as important as a patient is. Your primary stakeholder in your careers, in your professions, are your patients. You are what you are only because of them. And that is really what good adaptability is all about. Please don't be rigid. We are all resistant to change by nature. We're happy to be in our comfort zones. Most of the times you will see we are quite happy to be in our comfort zones. We don't want to be moving out of a comfort zone. Comfort zone is a good thing, no? It's comfortable, it's cool, it's lovely, you quite enjoy it. It's fun to be in the comfort zone. But it is a very dangerous place to be in. Because when you're in a comfort zone, everything around you seems very comfortable. It is only a perception. It may not be so. But when you move around and there's a shift in inertia, automatically you are able to get a better perspective of things around you. And they help you adapt better to whatever life throws at you, whatever challenges, whatever gauntlets are thrown at you. Adaptability skills is going to be a hallmark skill of a champion doctor. And with that, I come to the last of the skills that you must practice as doctors, as medical practitioners, as part of the extended, bigger, wider medical family. Practice your managerial skills. The more your management skills improve, the better you get on the job. You know, I'm amazed to see what I see every day in my life. People are not courteous to each other. People don't even know how to greet each other. People don't even know how to respond. And people have no clue as to who is what. When anybody walks into a room, we don't know how to greet. We don't know how to show the right kind of regard. We don't know how to conduct ourselves. Everything around us is gray sometimes. Because sometimes, I'm not saying this is always the case, but sometimes. And the primary reason for that is we have not practiced our managerial skills enough. We have not practiced managing people enough. But when you do that, when you start managing people better, you automatically will find yourself to be a better manager. See, whether you're a doctor or you're a lawyer or you're a sports person or you may be an engineer or maybe an architect, whatever you are, you first and foremost need to be a manager because you have to manage so many things in your life. To manage time, to manage your expertise, to manage personal life with your professional life. Life is all about managing. Life is all about managing. It's not that only people who've been given the designation managers have to manage. All of us have to manage. All of us have to work and shift from one area to another area and manage. And that really is what good managerial skills is all about. And that's really what you need to emphasize to ensure that you give your best, that you give your maximum to whatever life throws at you. So, with that, I will quickly recap all the. Now, please understand, this is not an all encompassing list. These are the essential soft skills. There are plenty of other soft skills that you also need to imbibe as part of the medical fraternity, like time management, like decision making, like assertiveness, like leadership, like motivation, conflict resolution, decision making, goal setting, so many others. There are so many other soft skill parameters. Maybe we can do a separate session on how do you deal with anger management, stress management. I mean, that is so important because not only are patients' families under a lot of stress and duress, we as medical practitioners also are under tremendous pressure, tremendous stress. No doctor, no doctor, I repeat, worth her salt or his salt would like to see a patient dying or a patient in a situation where her health declines away, deteriorates over a period of time. No doctor would like to see that. So, when sometimes, in spite of our best efforts, these things happen, when it happens, when unfortunately you see a patient sliding away, it can create a lot of stress for you, a lot of anxiety for you, a lot of anguish for you. And even though as a doctor, you might be able to shift and keep your emotions away from your profession and the compulsions of your profession, you might still feel an underlying stress, an underlying, nobody likes to see somebody die. I mean, even if you're able to rationalize it and put it in perspective, one still does feel bad. And therefore, stress management can then play, your sense of rational can then play a very important role in it. So these are the other aspects of soft skills which we've not really covered today in detail. I've just touched upon them, but the ones which I've covered are these essential soft skills, which are once again from the beginning, like a quick wrap before we wrap up: analytical skills, followed by communication skills. And we spoke about the power of teamwork, the greater power of positivity. If you're positive, it's half the battle is won there. Then we spoke about empathy, and why it is the most important skill that a doctor is expected to possess. We spoke about today's day and age, the day of digital era, multitasking is a core soft skill. Then we spoke about counseling skills, adaptability. We said change is the only constant, and doctors should take time to explain a patient's medication, to them properly and discuss the wider effects. And we gave a classic example of what is good counseling skills. And finally, we spoke about management skills, that your man management skills, your interpersonal skills, your PR skills, your ability to deal with people, your ability to make people feel comfortable in their shoes, in their skin, is what stands you out from the rest. If I can't make you feel comfortable, then somewhere I think I failed in my duties. I feel I failed in my obligations to give my best to you. I cannot blame you for it. I have to blame myself for it. And so, as we are nearing the conclusion of today's session, I would like to leave you with some parting thoughts. Strive for excellence, not perfection, because we don't live in a perfect world. But but the quest for excellence, the quest to excel in whatever you do in your life, should never desert you. मैं आपको अंत में एक शेर सुनाता हूँ. ये मैं शेर ऑफलाइन भी उस दिन वापस सुनाऊंगा, लेकिन आज भी आपको सुनाता हूँ. देखिए, आप डॉक्टर्स हैं, आप प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, आपका लाइफ आपने समाज को दिया हुआ है. You have given, it's the most social, most charitable, and it's the most noble profession that you can be part of, because you're saving lives, you're making a difference in people's lives. तो आपको हर दिन ये इस चीज का एहसास आपको रखना पड़ेगा कि आपको हर दिन मुसीबतों के साथ साथ डटना पड़ेगा, लड़ना पड़ेगा, सामना करना पड़ेगा. अगर आपके सामने आपका कोई पेशेंट का हेल्थ सीरियस है एंड और ज्यादा सीरियस होते जा रहा है, तो ऑब्वियसली ये तो एक मुसीबत ही है, ये तो अच्छी बात नहीं है. So you are in a profession where you have to be used to this happening all the time. और वो मुझे शेर याद आ रहे, which I would like to dedicate to all future doctors, Some of you are going to be future doctors. Some of you are medical practitioners. Some of you are already doctors. Some of you are doing your post graduation. ये शेर आप सभी के लिए, and with that I'll wrap my session. ये मुसीबत में शरीफों की शराफत, मुसीबत में शरीफों की शराफत कम नहीं होती. 100 टुकड़े कर लो सोने की, फिर भी सोने की कीमत कम नहीं होती. Thank you very much. I think I have been, in my own way, I've explained what are the essential soft skills and what you need to do so that you can excel in your chosen profession. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Meadle. Thank you, all others. I can now take some questions.
Hello. I truly appreciate you and your time you spent for this session, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Abhishek Ganguly, sir, for this wonderful session. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you,
I'll see you all on Monday morning for